Good morning to you all. I observe that very few students have joined the meeting. From tomorrow, I'm going to do some other arrangement to take the attendance. Okay. Now let's start. The previous lecture we have started with the thermal stresses in composite materials when they are rigidly connected. Now, we know that when these two different materials are rigidly connected, they are not free to elongate individually because of the change in temperature. The deformation of both the material will remain same. Okay, but if they are free to elongate, the deformation of one material will be more than the deformation of the another material. This is because of the different coefficient of the thermal expansion. For rising temperature, whose alpha is greater, will expand more, but other material will not allow that. Okay, clear? So other material will apply the compressive reactive force on that material, whereas this material 1 will try to pull the material 2 along with it here, and it apply the tensile reactive force on that material 2. These two reactive forces are generated in between the two material which are axial in nature because of the change in temperature. These are not the external applied forces. These are the reactive axial forces generated because of the change in temperature and because of the different alpha. Okay, we are now in this one how to find out the stresses induced because of the change in temperature. Yes, so I told you that first you are supposed to write down the load sharing relation. And in this case, the load sharing means these reactive forces. Here, these two reactive forces are equal and opposite according to the Newton's third law. So, the load sharing relation we can write if I denote this as a R1 and this as a R2. Clear? So, I can write R1 equal to R2. And actually, this R1 is responsible to induce the stress in material 1, and R2 is responsible to induce the stress in material 2. So this R1 can be written as sigma 1 A1 and R2 can be written as sigma 2 A2. Say we can say this as equation number 1, in which you will get the relation between sigma 1 and sigma 2 stresses induced in material 1 and 2. Now how to get the other relation? To get the other relation, we have to write down the strain relation. The strain relation is nothing but the relation of their deformation. Now, since in this case, when these two materials are rigidly connected in parallel, the deformation of both the material will remain same here, and we can write down here delta L1 is equal to delta L2. This is the final deformation of both the material. Yeah, final deformation. So this final deformation, in this case, this final deformation consists of the two different type of deformations. Here I am writing this delta L1 final deformation consists of the two different type of deformation. Which are that two different type of deformation? First one is a deformation because of the change in temperature, and second one is a deformation because of this axial force. Here, so here I am writing it is the deformation due to change in temperature plus second one is deformation due to the axial force. Deformation due to axial force. So this delta L1 will have these two components. Same way in delta L2. Yeah, this final deformation of the material 2 is again, there are two components, deformation due to change in temperature plus deformation. Actually, this is free deformation due to the change in temperature. The first part is. And this is a deformation due to the axial force. Such type of two components are there. If this assembly heated through T degree Celsius, here T degree is the change in temperature, then free deformation because of the change in temperature, we can write alpha 1 T into L1. Free deformation because of the change in temperature plus this deformation due to this axial force here, and this can be written as sigma 1 L1 upon E1. Actually, it is PL upon AE. P is the axial force, which is equal to R1. But this R1 upon A1, I have written it as a sigma 1, because this equation also I have written in terms of sigma 1. Okay, so it is sigma 1 L1 upon E1. This is the deformation because of this axial force induced. This is the deformation because of the change in temperature. Here, so in material 1, this is the deformation because of the change in temperature alpha 1 T L1, and because of this compressive axial force it gets reduced. So this is the deformation because of this axial compressive force, which we have written as a sigma 1 L1 upon E1. So this becomes the final deformation. Now since this is the compressive in nature, so this will be the decrease in length. So here I have used positive only, but while solving the sum you have to remember that if there is an increase in both the components, same thing on the right hand side also, if there is an increase in length, that you have to take positive. If there is a decrease in length, you have to take it negative for any reason. When there is a rise in temperature, this will be the elongation, so you have to take positive. If there is a fall in temperature, this will be the decrease in length, yes, so you have to take it negative. Understood? Yep. Or if there is a fall in temperature, you can take this T negative. That is also you will automatically get this as a negative. Okay. Then so this is, which is equal to free deformation of the material 2. It is alpha 2 T L2 here plus deformation because of this axial force R2. It is sigma 2 L2 upon E2. So once again, let me tell you, here I have written positive only, but when there is a rise in temperature, you have to take it positive. When there is an increase in length, you have to take it positive. When there is a decrease in length, you have to take negative. Now, for example, for this case, this first member is in compression. Compression में तो उसका length decrease होगा. Since its length will decrease, so you have to take this component negative. Whereas in second case, there is a rise in temperature for second material. There is a rise in temperature, so this will be positive. And because of this reactive force, which is tensile in nature, this will also be positive. Since this axial force is tensile in nature, this will also be the increase in length. Here, so this will also you have to take positive. Here, so in this case, you have to take the two different equations. You have to write down the two different equations. First one is the load sharing, which is equal to R1 equal to R2. Sigma 1 A1 equal to sigma 2 A2, see equation number 1, and second one is the strain relation, which is equal to delta L1 equal to delta L2. This delta L1 has two components, alpha 1 T L1 plus sigma 1 L1 upon E1. Similarly, delta 2 has two components, alpha 2 T L2 plus sigma 2 L2 upon E2. If this assembly is not subjected to the change in temperature, and if there is only an external applied force here, then also we have written the same thing. This equation is little bit changed in that case, and here also this delta L1 equal to delta L2, there will be only one component. There will be only one term, that is the change in length because of the axial force. Here, ये change in length because of the temperature उसमें नहीं था. Understood? Here now we will solve few sums on this one. It is given that a mild steel bar 20 mm diameter and 200 mm long is encased inside a brass tube of same length whose external diameter is 30 mm and internal diameter is 20 mm. Means there is a brass tube and inside that brass tube there is a steel rod. The ends of the two materials are rigidly connected together and the composite bar is heated through 40 degrees Celsius. It is through 40 degrees Celsius means the change in temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. Clear? Here T equal to 40 degrees Celsius. Find the stresses in the two materials and the expansion of the composite section. Means you have to find out the final expansion of the composite material. Composite section. Find the stresses in the two materials and expansion of the composite material. Take EF, brass, modulus of elasticity of the brass, thermal coefficient of the steel and the brass, everything is given. Yes, so first I will draw one simplified line diagram here, and I am going to draw the cross-sectional view. Lateral sectional view, front view. So there is a brass tube. This is the brass tube, hollow brass tube. Whose external diameter is 30 and internal is 25. External diameter is 30 and internal diameter is 25. Okay, so this such type of brass tube is there. This is the cross-sectional area. We require this cross-sectional area. And in this one, there is a steel rod of 20 millimeter diameter. So this is the steel rod of 20 millimeter diameter. So its diameter is 20 millimeter. And at the end, they are rigidly fixed with the help of some plate, rigid plates. They are fixed. Means it becomes a rigid connection now. Here, because of these external plates, they are rigidly connected together, means they are not free to elongate individually. Okay, this cross-sectional diameters and all these things are given. From this one, you can calculate the area of the brass, which is equal to pi by 4 into 30 square minus 25 square. You can calculate the area of the steel, which is equal to pi by 4 into 20 square. Here, let's calculate this. Then modulus of elasticity for the steel, modulus of elasticity for the brass. Then alpha for the steel, alpha for the brass. Everything is given. Modulus of elasticity for the steel is 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. For the brass, it is 1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. The coefficient of the thermal expansion for the steel is 12 into 10 raised to minus 6 per degree Celsius. And for alpha for brass, it is 17 into 10 raised to minus 6 per degree Celsius. Okay. This everything is given. We have to calculate if it is heated through 40 degrees Celsius. If the change in temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, what will be the thermal stresses inducing both the materials. Now, if you observe that, because of the change in temperature, both the material will tend to elongate. Okay, but they are rigidly connected, so they are not free to elongate. If they would have been free to elongate, then you will observe it here. Here, just observe this. This alpha is 12 into 10 raised to minus 6, and this alpha for brass is 17 into 10 raised to minus 6. Here, so here you will observe that alpha B is greater than alpha S. Means if they are free to elongate for the same change in length, for the same change in temperature, the brass will elongate more than the steel if the initial length is same, and here it is same. Here, brass will elongate more because alpha for the brass is greater than alpha for S, so brass will elongate more. But steel is rigidly connected with the brass, so it will not allow the brass to elongate freely. Here, it will pull it back, and because of that, the brass is in compression. Here, since alpha B is greater than alpha S, here brass is in compression and steel is in tension. Because brass will elongate more, it will try to pull the steel along with it. Here, and because of that, the reactive force acting on the steel is tensile. Steel is in tension. Okay, here the reactive force exerted on the brass by the steel is compressive in nature, whereas the reactive force exerted by the brass on the steel is tensile in nature, because steel has less coefficient of expansion. It will expand less as compared to the brass, and hence the brass will pull it. Here, that's why steel is in tension and brass is in compression. Here, now let's write down the load sharing relation. load sharing relation. Load sharing relation, the reactive forces on both is same. Reactive force on steel is equal to the reactive force on brass, but the reactive force in steel is tensile in nature and reactive force on brass is compressive in nature. Here, since brass is in compression, the thermal stresses induced in the brass are compressive in nature and thermal stresses in steel are tensile in nature. Okay, so let's write down that relation. It is sigma SAS equal to sigma B into AB. Here AS and AB are known to you. If you substitute this, here sigma S into AS is pi by 4 into 20 square, which is equal to sigma B into AB is 30 square minus 25 square into pi by 4. This pi by 4 is cancelled, and you will get one relation between sigma S and sigma B. Sigma S equal to some constant into sigma B, equation number 1. Okay. Then let's write down the strain relation. Now, since they are rigidly connected together, the total deformation of the entire assembly for both the material, it will be same. So I can write down the delta LS equal to delta LB. Now, I already told you that in case of the temperature stresses, here there are two components. One is the change in length because of the change in temperature, plus the change in length because of the reactive axial force. Here, so let's write down this delta LF here, which is equal to alpha S into T into LS plus stress in steel into LS upon ES, which is equal to alpha B into T into LB plus sigma B into LB upon EB. The first part is the elongation because of the change in temperature, since it is a rise in temperature, so this will be the increase in length. And the second part is the deformation because of the axial force. Here, now I am rectifying it here. Listen to me. Now here this is a rise in temperature. Rise in temperature means both the change in length because of the change in temperature will increase. So both are positive, no question. Now about this term. Now after that, the brass is in compression. Here the reactive force exerted on the brass is compressive in nature. Therefore, its final deformation will be definitely less than the free deformation. Free deformation is more, and some of the deformation from this will get reduced because of the axial compressive force in brass. Okay, and that's why this term will be negative, because the brass is in compression. And steel is in tension, so the length of the steel will increase because of the reactive axial force, which is tensile in nature, and that's why this is plus. Have understood this? Okay. Now, so just thumb rule, you can just remember, if any material is in compression, take it negative. If any material is in tension, take it positive. That's all. Now just substitute all the values. Now we'll observe that here the length is not given, but for both the material length is same. So if I take common, it will get cancelled because both are same. Yeah. Now just substitute the value. You will get another equation. Everything is given. ES, EV, alpha B. Everything is given. T is given. Everything is given. You will get one relation between sigma S and sigma B. This is the another relation between sigma S and sigma B. Solve that two equations and tell me the answer. Substitute the value, solve the sums and tell me the answer. Sigma S and sigma B. I'll give you the 2 minutes, write down the answer and write the answer in chat box. Here, I will put your today's attendance on the basis of that only. Even if it is wrong, but write it there with your roll number. Aditya. I got the answer of Aditya. Other students. Varun, write the answers, not only attendance. Only 2, 3 answers. Where are the others? Okay, let's solve the next sum. You solve it and complete this sum. Okay, in this question again it is asked to find out how much the final deformation of this assembly. This delta L you have to calculate, and we know that delta L is equal to delta LB. So this you have to calculate. Clear? So calculate any one out of these two. Delta LS. Clear? So delta L is equal to delta LB. Use this one or this one. Both are equal. Here use this. Now you know the alpha S. Substitute this value and get the answer. Here you can find out it only if you know the length. Here length is given 200 millimeter, because in this equation we have cancelled that length. Here, but to calculate this delta LS, here we require this length, and this length of the assembly is given as 200 millimeter. So by taking it as a 200 millimeter, you can get this final deformation of the assembly. Okay, next question. This is brass rod, one end is fixed and other one end is free, brass, and other material is magnesium. This is the magnesium material. Its one end is fixed and other end is free, and these two materials are in series. Okay, at the free end of these two materials there is a gap of 2 millimeter. This gap is of 2 millimeter. The length of the brass is 750 millimeter and the length of the brass is 1300 millimeter. Okay, in the question it is given that a bimetallic thermal control shown in the figure. The brass length is 750 and the cross-sectional area is 100 millimeter square. Area of the brass is 100 millimeter square, and cross-sectional area of the magnesium, its length is 1300 millimeter and cross-sectional area is 200 millimeter square. Cross-sectional areas are directly given. The two bars are arranged so that the gap between their free end is 2 millimeter at the room temperature. This 2 millimeter gap exists here between their free end at the room temperature. The temperature rise at which the two bars comes in contact. You have to calculate by what temperature rise, this free end of these two materials comes in contact with each other, means this gap will filled up, completely closed. That temperature source you have to calculate when they are just in contact with each other. Then it is asked the stress in the materials when the temperature increases by 300 millimeter. Okay, means here, listen once again. By 300 degrees Celsius or through 300 degrees Celsius means it is the change in temperature by 300 degrees Celsius. Up to 300 degrees Celsius means that is the final temperature. So don't get confused. Okay, so in this case you have to calculate the stresses here when T equal to 300 degrees Celsius. Change in temperature is 300 degrees Celsius. Here you have to calculate the stresses in both the material. Now you will observe that here I already told you that suppose this is one material and we heat it through some change in temperature T degree, and if this material is free to elongate, here no temperature stresses will induce. If it is free to elongate, temperature stresses induce nahi hoga. Temperature stresses will induce only when this deformation is restricted, free deformation is restricted either completely or partially. Then when this deformation is restricted, then only the temperature stresses will induce, otherwise the temperature stresses will not induce. In this question, final question, we have to calculate the stresses induced in this two material when the change in temperature is 300 degrees Celsius. And in this both the material, the temperature stresses are induced only if the deformation of this both the material, brass plus magnesium, because of the change in temperature, the free deformation of the brass and the magnesium because of this change in temperature here is greater than 2 millimeter. Okay, if the summation of the deformation of this brass and magnesium is greater than 2 millimeter, then only the stresses will induce, otherwise the stresses will not induce. For example, suppose because of the change in temperature of 300 degrees Celsius, the free deformation, free elongation of the brass, which is alpha TL for the brass, it comes suppose 1.2, and alpha TL for magnesium, suppose it comes 0.6. It is 1.2 and 0.6. So how much is the summation? It is 1.8. Okay, so since this is the free deformation of both the material, clear, but then also they are not come in contact with each other. Their free deformation, since this gap is of 2 millimeter, their free deformation is not restricted by any means. And since the free deformation is not restricted, no stresses will induce. So in this material, the stresses will induce only if the summation of the free deformation of both the materials should be greater than 2 millimeter. If it is less than 2 millimeter, no stresses will induce. Okay, hope that you will understand this concept. So in normal sum, it is expected that you should first check because of this change in temperature, the free deformation of both the material, summation of the free deformation of both the material is how much. If it is greater than 2 millimeter, thermal stresses will induce. If it is less than 2 millimeter, thermal stresses will not induce. So you are supposed to check that first. Okay, and then calculate the thermal stresses. Yeah. But in this question, the first part, it is asked at what temperature this gap will be filled up. Means you have to calculate the T when the free deformation of the brass plus free deformation of the magnesium should be equal to 2 millimeter. At what temperature here this gap will be filled, and when the gap will fill, then the deformation of the brass plus deformation of the magnesium is 2 millimeter. Okay, this T you have to calculate. Okay, now how much is the free deformation of the brass because of the change in temperature? It is alpha TL for the brass, and for magnesium it is alpha TL for magnesium, which is equal to 2 millimeter. Here now alpha and everything is given. Alpha for the brass, it is 10 into 10 raised to minus 6 into T into length of the brass is 750 millimeter, plus alpha for the magnesium, it is 14.5 into 10 raised to minus 6 into T into its length is 1300. equal to 2 meter. Simplify, you will get the T. So at this temperature, both the materials will come in contact with each other. At this temperature, the gap between them here will completely close. Okay. Tell me how much is this answer? $75.9. Rehan, 75.9. Anybody else? Is that answer correct? It is correct, 75.9 degrees Celsius. Okay. So at 75.9 degrees Celsius, this gap will close and these two materials come in contact with each other. Now we'll observe that if the rising temperature is greater than 75.9 degrees Celsius, then only the temperature stresses will induce. If the rising temperature is greater than this, here this material will try to further elongate. But there is no scope for the elongation. Since there is no scope for the elongation, they will exert the reactive forces on each other. These two different materials will apply the reactive forces on each other. And because of that reactive forces, the stresses will induce. But if the rising temperature is less than this, here for example for this assembly, if the rising temperature is 70 degrees Celsius, no temperature stresses will induce. Temperature stresses will start to induce beyond this 75.9 degrees Celsius only. Till 75.9 degrees Celsius, only this material will elongate to close this gap. No stresses will induce. I hope that you understood this. Okay, so this is the first part. Now in second part, if the temperature change in temperature is 300 degrees Celsius, what will be the thermal stresses? Now same concept you have to apply. Here, now we know that at this 300 degrees Celsius, here both the material will come in contact with each other. Here, and they will exert the reactive forces on each other. Now here the concept is different than previous one. In previous one, the materials are connected in parallel. Now here the materials are connected in series. One end is fixed, and if we increase the temperature, they will try to elongate. Here when this material, one will try to elongate, it will push this material. Okay, but this is also elongating. Here, so this will also push this material. It means that when I consider the FBD of the brass, here this is the reactive force exerted by the magnesium on the brass, and when I consider the FBD of the magnesium, this is the reactive force exerted by the brass on magnesium. Means in this case, because of this reactive forces exerted by these two materials on each other, both the materials are in compression. Have you understood this? Here, both the materials are in compression. Compressive reactive axial forces are induced on these both the materials. Here, have understood this concept? This is only important. Yes, means in this formula, we will write down the load sharing relation, strain relation. When we write down the strain relation, we will write down the relation of their deformation. Here, in each deformation, there are these two components. Change in length because of the change in temperature and change in length because of this reactive axial force. Here, now in this case, both the materials are compressive in nature. Both the reactive forces are compressive in nature. मतलब क्या होगा कि because of the change in temperature, brass का length तो increase होगा, but because of this reactive force exerted by the magnesium, वो reduce भी होगा. Clear? So both the materials are under compression. So the change in length because of this compressive reactive forces will decrease, and hence यहाँ पे दोनों जगह पे आपको निगेटिव लेना पड़ेगा. You have to take negative at both the places. Here, these are the decrease in length because of this reactive force. Since there is a decrease in length, let's take it negative. Here, I told you that. Just remember the same formula. If any material is in compression, take this second part negative. If there is any part in tension, take it positive. Okay. So we'll solve the sum. Solution is very simple if you understood the concept. Here, now load sharing relation. Now both the materials are exerting the reactive forces on each other, and these reactive forces are equal and opposite. Okay. Now, how much is the reactive force in brass? That can be written in terms of stress, because the stress induced in the brass because of this reactive force only. So it is sigma B into AB equal to, it is sigma M into AM. So it is sigma B into 100, which is equal to sigma M into 200. So sigma B equal to 2 times sigma M, equation number 1. This is the relation between their stresses. Okay. Then strain relation. Now here you have to remember, I told you that we are writing the strain relation, but it is actually the relation of their deformation. Last sum mein this arrangement was different. In this question, the arrangement is different. They are connected in series. Okay. So because of the change in temperature, जो भी deformation होगा, these supports are the rigid supports. Here, so जो भी deformation होगा, final deformation of this both the material. What relation we can write in that two? So we can write down the deformation of the brass plus deformation of the magnesium at any temperature. Listen to me. ये गैप जो है 2 मिलीमीटर का गैप तो 75.6 पे ही फिल अप क्लोज हो गया, लेकिन बियॉन्ड दैट अगर हमने टेम्परेचर राइज किया तो क्या होगा? Then also, here since there is a gap of only 2 millimeter and its ends are closed, here the deformation of both the material won't go beyond 2 millimeter. Here means delta LB plus delta LM won't go beyond 2 millimeter. It is only 2 millimeter. Understood? It may happen that, listen carefully, it may happen that this magnesium, the deformation of the magnesium may be 2.5 millimeter. यार लेकिन अगर इसका डिफॉर्मेशन अगर 2.5 मिलीमीटर होगा तो इसका क्या होगा? तो इट विल गेट कंप्रेस्ड बाय 0.5 मिलीमीटर. ओके, यार बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रिएक्टिव फोर्स. मींस इन दिस केस फॉर द ब्रास, अगर ये सिचुएशन है तो फॉर द ब्रास द डिफॉर्मेशन बिकॉज ऑफ द चेंज इन टेम्परेचर विल डोमिनेट बिकॉज ऑफ द चेंज इन लेंथ बिकॉज ऑफ द एक्सियल फोर्स. एक्सियल फोर्स का डिफॉर्मेशन ज्यादा होगा. Okay, here, so the strain relation in this one we can write down delta LV plus delta LM equal to 2. Now, if suppose these are the step rod and if both the ends are closed and there is no gap, so this relation can be written as delta LV plus delta LM equal to 0 because there is no any scope for any elongation. Both ends are fixed and both are the rigid support. Okay. So this delta LB plus delta LM equal to 2 millimeter. Now this delta LB is the total final deformation of the brass here, which consists of the two components. It is the deformation, free deformation because of the change in temperature plus the deformation because of the axial force. This is for the brass. This is the deformation because of the change in temperature and deformation because of the axial force. Yeah. Plus, same thing for the magnesium. It is alpha TL for the magnesium plus sigma M into L upon EM. This is for magnesium and this summation is equal to 0. Now, slightly I have written this formula directly, but now you have to think logically. Now, here there is a rise in temperature. Because of the rise in temperature, this is the free deformation, which will be the increase in length, so both are positive. Clear? But reactive forces exerted on this both the material here, since they are connected in series here, और वो दोनों material एक दूसरे को push कर रहे हैं, means both the materials are in compression. That's why because of this reactive compressive force here, this is the decrease in length and this will also be decrease in length. So you have to take it minus here because this is the compressive in nature. Reactive force is compressive in nature, and because of that, जो deformation होगा, that will be the contraction, that will be the decrease in length, and that's why it is minus. I hope that have you understood this. Other part is simple, just you have to put the value and get the answer and solve these two equations. You will get sigma B and sigma M. Okay, but have you understood the concept? If any doubt, unmute yourself and ask me the question. Ask me your doubt. Okay, I'm writing the this values over here which are given. Alpha B is given as 10 into 10 raised to minus 6. EB is given as 150 GPa. Okay, and for magnesium, alpha for magnesium is given as 14.5 into 10 raised to minus 6, and for modulus of elasticity for the magnesium is given as 65 GPa. It is given in GPa. Listen carefully. If you use this L in millimeter, okay, then this EB also you have to take in terms of Newton per millimeter square or kilonewton per millimeter square. According to that, you have to change it. Okay, so better I will tell you convert it into Newton per millimeter square and then substitute. If you convert it into Newton per millimeter square and if the length is in millimeter, the sigma B and sigma M will be in Newton per millimeter square. Right? Units properly. Okay, just substitute the value and tell me the answer. I want the final answer of stress in brass and stress in magnesium. Tell me the answer. Just substitute the value in this equation and solve these two equations. This is equation number 2. Substitute and solve. And tell me the answer. Come on, fast. One more sum, so you have to finish. A division, roll number 60, Manisha Pushpa. Unmute yourself and answer. Are you present? Manisha, are you present? Lopez, roll number 17, A division. Are you present? Unmute yourself. Ria Mendes, are you present? Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Omkar Pitale, Omkar, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So sigma m equals to 340.5 and sigma b 681.
And sigma m is how much?
Sigma m is 340.5 and sigma b 681. Is it correct?
No, the answer which I got is 196 and 393. Just
Okay,
cross
sir.
check.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, temperature is 300, no? Not 30.
Yes, temperature is 300. If it is 30, Rahul,
Yes, sir.
if it is 30, how the temperature stresses will induce? Because the gap is closed at 75.6. If the gap is closed at 75.6 at 30 degrees Celsius, how the temperature stresses will induce? लॉजिक है, समझ में आ रहा है क्या?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ, फिर ten into 10 raised to 6, 150, 14.5 into 10 raised to 6, 65. Yes, everything is correct. And anybody else? Have you got the answer?
सर सिग्मा बी 3.01 न्यूटन पर mm स्क्वायर और सिग्मा m इक्वल टू 1.50.
How it is
No.
1.50 and all
No,
these things
sir.
are?
Sigma B is 393.67
Ah,
and sigma M is 196.83.
this answer is correct. This answer is correct. Cross check, just you have to put the value and get the answer. ये पहला इक्वेशन तो एज इट इज आपको मिला है, सेकंड इक्वेशन में आपको सिर्फ ये वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट करने का है, अब ये दो इक्वेशन सॉल्व करने का है. नाउ यू आर इन सेकंड ईयर, अभी कोई इक्वेशन भी सॉल्व करके दिखाना पड़ेगा क्या? श्री साई कृष्ण वरियर, आर यू देयर? साई कृष्ण, साई कृष्ण वरियर. सोहेल शेख, सोहेल शेख, वरद टक्के.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ओके. साई रवि किरण.
Yes, sir.
ओके. आयुष पंचाल, बी डिवीजन. आयुष.
Yes, sir.
Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Write down the answers in comment box. Saurabh, Saurabh, Saurabh Bambale, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Shubham Goswami, Shubham,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay. Nirav Rathod, Nirav Rathod,
Yes, sir.
okay. Got the answer, this 393 and 196. Next sum, try to finish one more sum. This is the civil exam question. Civil exam question. This is copper. Step rod is there, copper and an aluminium. Both ends is fixed. Both ends are fixed, and there is no any gap. Okay, it's little bit similar question than like a previous question. Only in previous question we have considered delta L1 plus delta L2 equal to 2 millimeters, since there was a gap of 2 millimeters. But here delta L1 plus delta L2 we have to write it equal to 0, because there is no scope for the expansion, free expansion. Okay, both ends are fixed. This is copper, this is aluminium, this length is 100 millimeter, this length is 150 millimeter, area is 110 millimeter square, area is 80 millimeter square. Okay. Now in this question it is asked, a step bar made of the copper and aluminium is fixed at its end as shown in the figure. Determine the stresses induced, you have to calculate the stresses induced, and the displacement in the junction. Here if I consider this as a small a, this junction is small b, and this is small c. Yes, so you have to calculate the displacement of this point b, whether it will move towards right or towards left from this original position. You have to calculate the displacement of the junction, as well as you have to calculate the stresses of both the parts. Here, then the temperature of, listen very carefully, then the temperature of only copper portion is increased by 50 degrees Celsius. Here, सिर्फ कॉपर का टेम्परेचर राइज किया, एल्यूमिनियम का टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज नहीं किया है. लास्ट क्वेश्चन में दोनों का टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज किया था बाय 300 डिग्री सेल्सियस. इसमें सिर्फ कॉपर का टेम्परेचर राइज किया है, एल्यूमिनियम का टेम्परेचर राइज नहीं किया है. Okay, here and the copper temperature changes by 50 degrees Celsius. Here, now since the temperature of the copper in no any external force is acting, but since the temperature of the copper increases, here it will try to elongate. When it will try to elongate, it will push aluminum rod. Aluminum rod will exert the reactive force on copper. This is the reactive force exerted by aluminum on copper, and equal amount of reactive force is exerted by the copper on aluminum. So these are the reactive forces exerted by the copper and aluminum on each other because of the change in temperature of copper. ओके यार, क्योंकि कुछ भी गैप ही नहीं है, ये अगर राइज किया इसका टेम्परेचर तो ये इलोंगेट ही होगा, ये इलोंगेट होगा तो इस पे प्रेशर डालेगा, ये इसको रिएक्टिव फोर्स डालेगा. Okay, so these are the reactive forces which are equal in this first part is same. Okay, so let's write down the load sharing relation. Load sharing relation. This is a civil exam question for 10 marks. Load sharing relation. Yes, it is for 10. Load sharing relation. Here, load exert by aluminum on copper is equal to the load exerted by the copper on aluminum, or reactive force on copper is equal to the reactive force on aluminum, which can be written as in terms of stress. Here sigma C into 110 equal to sigma A into 80. So sigma C equal to 80 upon 110 into sigma A, say equation number 1. One relation between stress inducing the steel and the, copper and the aluminum. One relation we got. How to get the other relation? Strain relation. So strain relation. Now listen to me. Only the temperature of the copper rises here. So because of this, its length will increase. And because of the increase in the length of this copper, it will push the aluminum, and length of the aluminum will also change. Understood? Yes, so what will be the relation, strain relation, or what will be the relation of their deformation? So here the relation between deformation can be written as the deformation of the copper plus deformation of the aluminum. Now since both the ends are fixed and both are rigid and there is no gap, here so for any rise in temperature and for any external applied force, here दोनों का जो deformation होगा, दोनों के summation of their deformation will be equal to 0. ऐसा हो सकता है कि ये कॉपर जो है ये इलोंगेट होगा, अगर ये इलोंगेट होगा तो एल्यूमिनियम कंप्रेस होगा, लेकिन समेशन विल बी 0. ओके, ये जो साइन कन्वेंशन है वो बाद में नेक्स्ट स्टेप में लिखेंगे. ओके, सो हियर यू हैव टू राइट इट डायरेक्टली कि दोनों का डिफॉर्मेशन का जो समेशन है दैट विल बी 0. या नाउ डिफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द कॉपर. नाउ हियर strain is actually that the deformation of the copper, ये temperature cases में जो है ये deformation है, यार इसका फार्मूला ये है. Here, so it is the deformation because of the change in temperature plus deformation because of this reactive force. Yeah, so it is sigma C into L upon EC. This is for copper plus for aluminium. अभी आप ये फार्मूला ऐसा का ऐसा ही लिख सकते हैं फॉर एल्यूमिनियम के लिए भी. ओके, दिस इज द change in temperature. Actually in this formula this is the change in temperature because of change in length because of the change in temperature, whereas this is the change in length because of the reactive force. But ये असेंबली में क्या हो रहा है, एल्यूमिनियम का जो टेम्परेचर है वो चेंज ही नहीं कर रहे. वी आर नॉट राइजिंग और चेंजिंग द टेम्परेचर ऑफ एल्यूमिनियम, ओनली कॉपर का टेम्परेचर चेंज किया है. सिंस वी आर चेंजिंग द टेम्परेचर ऑफ ओनली कॉपर, देयर विल बी द चेंज इन टेम्परेचर ऑफ द change in length of the copper because of the change in temperature. But aluminum temperature is not changing, and since we are not changing the temperature of aluminum, for aluminum there is no change in length because of the change in temperature, so ये term will be 0. Here for this aluminum the change in temperature actually ये term 0 है, तो ये term 0 है, पूरा ही term 0 होगा because there is no change in temperature. Means aluminum का जो change in length होगा, it is just because of the reactive force exerted by the copper, not because of the change in temperature. Have you understood this? Next important thing, अभी इसमें मैंने बोला था आपको कि there is a rise in temperature, if there is an increase in length take it positive. If there is a decrease in length, take it negative. Now here the temperature is, we are rising the temperature. Because of the rising temperature, there will be the increase in length. So this part alpha TL will be positive. But because of the reactive force exerted on the copper is compressive in nature. Okay, since it is compressive in nature, this will be minus. Because of the compressive reactive force, it will get decreased. And here, ये तो zero है. But for this is the deformation because of the axial force acting on the aluminium. Now, axial force acting on the aluminium is compressive in nature. Because of this compressive in nature, here this will get contract. Here and here, this will be negative, not positive. Okay, means our equation becomes alpha TL minus sigma C into L upon EC for the copper plus in bracket minus sigma A into L upon EA for aluminium, which is equal to 0. Just substitute the value and get the answer. Okay, I'll tell you the value. Actually, values are not given. I have to search because in the question paper values are not given. Okay. Okay, write by the time. I will tell you the value. Write this by the time.
Hello.
हाँ बोलो.
Sir, what is the value of alpha and sigma?
That
Not sigma,
that only I'm
E dot.
searching. That only I'm searching. It is not given in the question paper.
Okay.
I'll provide you the value. Just give me the 2 minutes. It is copper and aluminium. I'll take the values from other sum. Take this value. Alpha for aluminium is 23 into 10 raised to minus 6 per degree Celsius. And modulus of elasticity for aluminium (70 GPa). Okay, and for copper alpha C equal to 18 into 10 raised to minus 6, and modulus of elasticity for the copper is 1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. Solve this now and tell me the answer. Substitute the value properly. Because one E is given in GPa, whereas other one is in Newton per millimeter square. You have to convert them properly.
Hello.
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 हाँ बोलो.
Hello.
Hello. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me the answer then.
Sir.
हाँ बोलो.
Sir, sigma A 1.74 into 10 power 6. I think so.
Answers are not available with me, so I need to solve. I'll provide you the answer later. Right now, I don't have the answer. But let cross check among yourself only. Anybody else? What is T? Yes. T is 50 degrees Celsius. 50 degrees Celsius, and only for the copper part. It is 50 degrees Celsius. Area of copper, 110 degrees, 110 millimeters square. These areas are written over here. These are the areas. And this is 80 millimeters square. Length, copper 100, aluminum 150. Tathansh, sigma C 1.2.
Yes, sir. I too got the same.
Okay. Sigma C is 1.2 Newton per millimeter square. What is the nature of this stress? Is it tensile or compressive? Tell me, what is the nature? Matre Hardik. Matre Hardik. Yogesh Mishra.
Yes, sir.
Raj Naik. Hello. Raj Naik.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Very low.
Manthan Patil. Manthan Patil. Civil.
Sir, can't hear you, sir.
Sorry, your voice is very low.
Sir, can't hear you.
Hello, sir.
can't
We
hear you,
can't
sir.
hear you. Hello.
Sheikh
Sir,
Mustaqim.
your voice is not audible.
Sheikh Mustaqim. Hardik Vora.
Hello, sir.
Hardik Vora.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Varun Walia. Varun. Varun.
Sir, can't hear you.
Can't hear you, sir. Can't hear you. Hello, sir.
Sir, your voice is low.
Sir, you are not audible, sir.
Hello.
Sir, you are not audible.
Hello.
I'm audible or not?
No, sir. I think your
Not-
battery of the mic is dead. I think so. That's why you are not able to hear our voice. Okay, okay.